Okay, someone is there. Yo. Okay, six people all of a sudden. I have so many audience. Okay, good evening. Right, let me know questions and all. Okay, any questions? Namaste. Oh, good evening. All right. No questions? Transit of Jupiter in third house, also respect of natal Jupiter from ninth. Okay, so Jupiter is all about knowledge and all. Third house is teaching, and it is also like collection of information. Okay, so this thing, collection of information and knowledge. So then this person will gain a lot of knowledge during this transit. I guess it is Sagittarius ascendant, and the birth Jupiter is in ninth house. So it is also aspecting ninth house and Jupiter. So from every angle, it is looking like a knowledge oriented transit. If we see, the person is getting involved in lots of knowledge oriented activities, and that is what we can see here. And more person gains knowledge, more person shares knowledge, better it is for you in this transit. Other factors will be there, like if this person is in any knowledge oriented business, then his business can be growing. If this person is in uh, any any work of teaching and counseling, then this person can get good benefits. That's where the benefits will be, but overall it is knowledge oriented transit. Okay, could you talk about Saturn maturation at 35? You say that Saturn will ease its difficulty when person becomes mature. So what is this becoming mature? Becoming mature that you have learned your lessons. So becoming mature that you have learned lessons from your mistakes. Okay, you are not repeating your mistakes. Understand, everyone and does mistakes. Now, you asked who is a mature person. What is maturity? Mature person is one who does lots of mistakes, but he doesn't repeat the same mistake. He is not afraid of making mistake, but he is not repeating the same mistake. Okay, that is maturity. You committed one mistake, you learned from that mistake and you didn't repeat it. Okay, that is maturity. uh, this maturity age of planets, whatever it is, like I think for Jupiter it is 16 or something like that, or for 24, whatever it is, understand that this is not planet's maturity age, this is our maturity age. We are supposed to be mature at least at the age of 35, right? At least by the age of 35 we should behave maturely, we should learn from our mistake, we should not go into the same area where we have not found any results or benefits. Okay, just understand, by an example. Suppose I never got any good result while working under other people, in job setup, in my whole life. Okay, till the age of 30-35 I didn't get any result. Now I should not go towards that area. I should learn from my mistake, I should think of starting my own business. That is maturity. Okay, person is learning from his mistake, he is not repeating his mistakes. That is maturity for me, at least. One example I can give is, suppose there is a person who is trying to climb a mountain. Okay, and he is trying for the first time, so he will fall off many times, he will slide down many a times, he will have lots of injuries, bruises, bleeding, and everything. And he may take, let's say, 5 days to reach the top of the mountain. If you tell the same person to climb the same mountain again after 1 month, okay, he may do it in 2 days with lesser injuries, lesser slides, lesser falls, because he has learned from his mistakes. He knows where to put his foot, where not to put his foot. Did mountain come down from its height? No, mountain is the same. Mountain didn't come down in height. What happened? The person has learned from his mistakes. That is the main problem, that people are not learning from their mistake. I am not excluding myself. In people I am also included. So we are not learning from our mistakes, we are committing the same mistakes again and again in life. Okay, and that is what maturity is all about, not to repeat your mistakes. If you are repeating the same mistake, planets will keep on giving you same punishment again and again. No problem. Planets are in no hurry. I understand this basic thing. Okay, just a second. Okay, then moon in sixth house does denote mother is having health issues. Yes, it may means moon is mother, sixth house is health issues. The person's mother can have health issues. Plus, it also shows that person can himself or herself has health issues related with mind, mental health issues. Moreover, it shows that person can feel that I face a lot more obstacles in life in comparison to anyone else in the world. Okay, so if I have moon in the fifth house, I may have this feeling that I am facing more obstacles in life in comparison to everyone else in the world. Okay, so this type of feeling comes when moon is in the 6th house. Scorpio ascendant, Jupiter in Virgo 11th house, Jupiter dasha, Jupiter transiting 4th house from on 4th house over Saturn. What will Jupiter transit do? uh, it can expand someone's real estate properties. It can expand someone's it can bring some renovation or expansion to the house property and all. Like I'm going through the same transit, and we are planning a renovation. So that is one possibility with Jupiter transiting through 4th house. uh, what I have felt in last 15 days or so, since the Jupiter has transited into my 4th house, that I'm feeling more positive about some like past resentments I had. Okay, this is an important thing for me. I have some past resentments from many people, uh, from my childhood. Being a Scorpio ascendant, great memory, so I'm unable to forget those things. So in these last 15 days, I have realized that I'm not thinking about those matters now. Okay, I have got rid of somehow. I have maybe little bit, maybe 1% or 2%, but it's still. If I'm not thinking about those things now, maybe I have overcome those situations. Okay, those past resentments which I had. That is the thing. It also shows person when it is going over Saturn is your duty and responsibility, and Jupiter is your knowledge and awareness. So this transit can bring lots of awareness and knowledge of your real duty and responsibility in this world, what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do. Okay. Regarding transit, I think I have already written descriptive articles, and those articles will benefit you more rather than this one comment. Okay. Anyways, this one comment is one additional thing. Uh, Saturn Mars Rahu. Saturn Mars Rahu in 11th house for Taurus ascendant. Jupiter in 4th house. Pisces, Saturn, Mars, Rahu are there. This person needs to work really hard on his money. Okay, 11th house is income, and like three strong malefics are sitting there. This person may not be able to save any of whatever he is earning. Okay, when Jupiter is sitting in the 4th house, the mother or home or house properties or real estate matters can be one of the reason, can be one of the sources for his wealth, for his money, but he will still have very hard time in saving his money. That's where the person should work to save his money. Okay. Saturn, Mars, Rahu, right. Person has to work really hard to safeguard his money. Can you tell something about Moon and Rahu conjunction in 10th house of D10 chart, Aries ascendant, while Jupiter is in 4th house? Again, I prefer to look at D1 chart first. Okay, then I go to any of the charts like D9, D10 and all. So for me, D1 remains the most important chart. Okay. Uh, at the same time, D10 is related with career growth or career path of life, and when Rahu Moon are together in 10th house, it shows the person's career. Person will be gravitated towards recognition and fame. They want recognition and fame in their career. That is what that will make them work towards, gravitate towards. Okay, they can be highly ambitious, but as it is in the Capricorn sign, Capricorn is the sign ruled by Saturn. So that recognition, then that fame may come with delay. Okay. um, Jupiter in the fourth house, I don't think because we cannot use aspects in divisional charts. So I don't think I can relate Jupiter's position here. But all I can say is that this person is gravitating towards fame and recognition, authority. But that authority, recognition, and fame may come with lots of delays. Okay. Lots of delays, hard work, and perseverance because of Saturn's impact on 10th house. My Ketu Dasha will end in next month. Wait, congratulations. And Venus Dasha will start, but these days I am in confusing and not finding better ways. I am expecting that at least this time I am able to take decision properly for further growth, as Venus is coming, no, but not seeing results yet. Let it come when Venus is still 1 month away. Again, Venus, as per your chart position of Venus, which house it is ruling, which house it is sitting, you may think of going into the profession related with that position. Okay, that will be more helpful. But as Ketu Dasha is still going on, this thing you need to wait for Venus to start. One thing I can add is that, like I said, that Rahu and Ketu, they both are demons. They both represent illusion. Okay, so when you are in Rahu Dasha or Ketu Dasha, you are under some illusion. If we and That's why Rahu Dasha is followed by Jupiter, Ketu Dasha is followed by Venus. Jupiter and Venus both are teachers. Jupiter is Brihaspati, Venus is Shukracharya. So when we finish Rahu Dasha or Ketu Dasha and enter into Jupiter Dasha or Venus Dasha respectively, then we get some knowledge, we can get some awareness, and we can take better decisions, we can see things better. Okay, understand what you are feeling right now, that you are not finding better ways because you are still under Ketu Dasha. Ketu is headless. It is like you are headless right now, and when you are headless, you cannot find any better ways. So wait till Venus Dasha starts. How to understand when transit Saturn over natal Rahu, and transit Rahu over natal Saturn. Saturn being Lagna Lord, Capricorn. This is a frustrating transit. Understand? Saturn over Rahu or Rahu over Saturn. And this is a frustration. This is a transit of frustration because Rahu is where we gravitate. Rahu is what we want to achieve. Okay, and achieve right now. Rahu is obsession. We don't want to wait. And Saturn is all about limitations. So Rahu is making us gravitate towards something obsessively, and Saturn is something which is limiting the experiences, limiting the results. Okay, it is delaying the results, it is putting more obstacles in the way. Okay, so end result is like frustration. Okay, so person is gravitating towards, but he is not getting results. So this transit brings frustration. The only way is to bow down to the Saturn. You have to bow down to Saturn, and you have to be prepared to put your best effort, so that you can get better results. Okay, with time. Is Saturn in Pisces more likely to go to foreign lands than Saturn in Scorpio? Because Pisces is having a 12th house energy, irrespective of the house it is placed. I feel that houses still become important. The main houses of going to foreign lands are 3rd house, 9th house, 12th house. If a malefic planet is in the 4th house, it shows the person will have very less success in homeland. That's why he should move away from the homeland. So these houses are still important. I would not say that just because of Pisces. I agree that Pisces has 12th house energy. I don't disagree with that. But this thing, houses are still important, because houses have then their energy. Okay, if both spouse and native have Sun conjunct Venus, how would that play out? Ego clashes in relationship. Sun is ego and Venus is relationship. When they both have it, so it is like they are getting, they are having, they are having many ego clashes between them. That they are getting into many ego conflicts one after the other. And as we know that either we can have our ego or we can have our relationship, we cannot have both. So that's where they need to like adjust, accommodate, be flexible with each other. Mars in Magha 10th house, Saturn in Dhanishta retrograde in 4th house. Mars in Magha, right? Okay. I'm in creative field. Will I get success? Success largely depends on the dasha and transit you are going through. But yeah, it is a good chart for following your creative pursuits, because Mars in Magha, like ascendant lord in Magha in Leo, it shows the person is going towards fame, authority, recognition, and Leo is the sign of creativity. It is a good position for following your creative pursuit. Saturn in Dhanishta only shows that okay, you need to put lots of hard work and perseverance, and results may be delayed. Okay, the more repetitively you do your work, then the better results you will get. So the success may be delayed, but if you show the perseverance, you will get the result. For Scorpio ascendant, house Sun and Mercury conjunction in 6th house affects. Sun gets exalted there, so health wise it should be very fine. In career matters, with their authority figures or with their colleagues, they can have some disputes, conflicts. In relationship matters, again it is the house of disputes and conflicts, so they can have some ego conflicts in relationship. They should be in business setup. Sun is career, Mercury is business. They should be in business setup. Looking at gurus and mystics, what was their prominent nakshatra or placement? What nakshatra or planet or even placement signifies mystics and mysticism? Uh, uh, some signs become important, like the Scorpio one, okay, mysticism, the Sagittarius, Pisces, Ketu becomes important, Jupiter becomes important, Rahu becomes important. Okay, then house wise, same houses like 8th house, 9th house, and 12th house. Nakshatra wise, I think Purvabhadra, Uttarbhadra, Revati, these three nakshatras of of Pisces sign. Then nakshatras like Jyeshtha can be very prominent for a mystic. Okay, so these are combinations which can which can make someone a mystic or a guru. But what I feel is that somewhere a real guru, a sadguru, a real sadguru, okay, a real sadguru, I would say, is that person who is kind of very ahead of his time. Okay, understand this basic thing, that a real guru is always ahead of his time. He is coming 100 years before his time, because he needs to prepare the next generation. Okay, in one of the preaching, Osho said that whatever I am telling you in 1960s, you will understand in 2060s. Okay, that is the level of a guru, because he is so ahead of his time. So that's where I feel that Rahu and Ketu become important, because they are unconventional. Okay, they bring something which you cannot understand. We can understand a real guru only when you are coming after his death. Okay, understand what I am trying to say. uh, like in the times of Buddha and Mahavira, they didn't get that much of respect, they didn't get that much of recognition, but after they passed away, then people started realizing that okay, they were great people. Likewise for Osho also, within his life, he never got the recognition. He got very little recognition as per his ability, but after his passing away, his work started spreading. People started realizing. So that is the main thing about a real guru. That they are very ahead of their time. Okay, they are generations ahead. So that's where I feel that Rahu and Ketu become very prominent, because Rahu and Ketu are unconventional. Their views are always unconventional. Okay, so that is the thing that is most prominent for me. Rahu Ketu, or if we want to take Western astrology concepts, then Lilith gives unconventional ways. Okay, so that is also important. Thank you, you're welcome. How can we come to know that whether Rahu or Saturn is having more influence in Lagna or moon chart, because both misleads and make to do lot of struggle? No planet misleads. Okay, understand. Every planet is giving a direction. Your mind is misleading you. That's it. Nothing else. Your mind is making you going in different direction, not Rahu and Saturn. Okay, if you meditate, if you resolve your the mind related matters, then every planet is giving a direction. uh, Understand the okay, you asked about Rahu and Saturn. Okay, I have Rahu and Saturn in the 10th house. Okay, so when Rahu Saturn together are in the 10th house, they are not misleading me. They are trying to guide me that don't work under others' authority. 10th house is of working under others' authority. And if I am not willing to accept that, I will continue to try to work in job setup, and I will feel frustrated because of same Rahu and Saturn. And I will think, oh, Rahu and Saturn are misleading. They are not misleading. They are giving me direction. Okay. Uh, Suppose you are going on a road and there are some barricades on the road, and there is a mark for diversion road. Take diversion road. Are you saying that can you say that barricade is misleading you? No, it is giving you another direction. Go into that direction. Okay, so the main thing is that our human mind misleads us. Planets are not misleading us. Okay, and human mind is invention of the society. Your social conditions make your human mind, and that's what misleads us. The social condition, the same example we can continue. Social conditions that you cannot survive without a job. If I keep that social conditioning with me, that I cannot survive without a job, then again the Rahu Saturn in the 10th house, I will continue to apply for the further jobs and continue to feel frustration, and I will think that okay, Saturn and Rahu are after my life. But if I just let go of that conditioning of the society, then I can understand them in a better way. So it is all the mind game rather than the Rahu Saturn or any other planet. You mentioned before 9th house of loss of father, and many times sun is seen for father, and also if sun in 9th house means loss of father, even if exalted. Uh, if exalted, I would say that person is getting some benefits from father. Okay, either through inheritance or some guidance or some financial support and all. Person is still getting some benefits from father, but a sense of a sense of loss is there. The person feels disconnected from his father for any reason. Okay, the father can be at different place, son can child can be at different place and all. So this is what happens with sun exalted in the ninth house. So this person gets some benefits, but those even while getting those benefits, he has a sense of loss. Eighth house Lord Moon is in the second house in Capricorn. Does it indicate inheritance? It indicates inheritance, but not up to the level of expectations, because understand that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn represents limitations. So this person can get inheritance, but he will have a feeling that okay, I didn't get inheritance as per my expectation. I was expecting this also, I was expecting that also, I didn't get that. Okay, so that is the thing. I like your reply, it makes much sense. Thank you, you're welcome. Then right, one of my friend does little bit of astrology. He also propagates that if your moon is strong, then no bad placement can affect you. It is a mind game. True. Even if moon is not strong, I agree with whatever he said. That if moon is strong, then no planetary placement can impact you. I agree with that. Okay, but even if moon is not strong, the person should can do certain things which can make his moon strong. One thing is meditation. If person can meditate regularly day in and day out, if I am able to come out of my past issues, one reason was one reason is my spiritual pursuits, my meditation and all, where I could get rid of my issues of my life so far. Okay, so and look at life more positively. So when I'm in almost every session and every article I'm mentioning about meditation, it is just not for the name's sake. I have done that, and I have got good results out of it. So that's why I'm saying again and again. Okay. Could you please say something about how would Rahu behave during its Dasha? Rahu in Virgo, 11th house, and its ruler is in the 5th house, Pisces, which is debilitated and Scorpio ascendant. But the Mercury, which is the ruler of 11th house, is conjunct Saturn, Mars, Sun, and Ketu. Thank you in advance. This is a huge energy in Pisces sign, where you have 5 planets in the 5th house Pisces. First of all, it will take you sooner or later. It will take you towards a spiritual path. Rahu Dasha, the main thing about Rahu Dasha, because Rahu represents illusion, the during whole of the dasha of Rahu, person remains under somewhat illusion. Okay, person gets into some illusion. There will be some illusion in his life, maybe about money. For you it is 11th house. Maybe you are under illusion for money factor. Maybe regarding your desires, you may have some desires which may not be useful for you for your growth in this life. So that is where Rahu Dasha can bring some illusions in life. Okay, and that is where again regular meditation can make you more aware of what you should be doing, what you should not be doing. It can be a good placement for money, because the 11th house is money. Person can get good amount of money. Person can be away from the homeland, because Rahu is ruling the 4th house and sitting in the 11th house, 8th from the 4th. So person can be going away from the homeland, but overall person will be under some illusion, and that illusion will break as he comes closer to the Jupiter Dasha. The person comes closer to the Jupiter Dasha. Is it true Ashlesha Nakshatra is good for ascension and awakening, as it is also represents it also represents Kundalini energy? Yes, Ashlesha can help a lot. Again, meditation is the only way. Okay. So if a person has a few planets in Ashlesha or ascendant in Ashlesha, moon in Ashlesha, then like if person meditates regularly, the same Ashlesha energy, as it represents Kundalini, it can bring Kundalini activation to you. Can you please explain how can it play out in person's life? Same way, through meditation. Everyone can have different experiences of Kundalini awakening. Understand? Experiences are not generic. Like whatever your experience of Kundalini energy can be different from my experience. Okay. uh, and like if you just listen to the there are many people who have shared their Kundalini awakening experience, and if you listen to their experiences, there are many videos posted. You will realize that everyone had a different experience. Okay. That is the thing, that and experience last experience will be different for everyone, but Kundalini will be activated. The end result is the same. Experience can be different. Okay. Thank you for your insights. With your response, but I can understand that you should have acceptance of situation whichever planets lead you. Yes, as I see, every planet is trying to guide you. Okay, every planet in your chart is guiding you somewhere. Okay. And they are giving you a direction. Okay, go into that direction. Due to our social conditionings, due to our, like, whatever society has told us, that okay, fine, follow this path, follow that path, you should be a doctor, you should be an engineer, and if you don't become a doctor, your life is a waste. Okay. All these nonsense which are told by the societies. uh, these things get fed up in our mind from our childhood, and then it becomes very difficult to break this conditioning. And that's where we feel that planets are our enemies. No, planets are trying to guide us. We are considering them as enemy. uh, Only meditation can change a person fully. Yes. Could you tell any simplest way to meditate? Why you want some simplest way to meditate? Anyways, uh, uh, I can tell what I do. Okay, it is understand. This is the main thing. Okay, why there are so many different ways to meditate? First of all, understand that why so many different ways are there. Only Osho has created 150 different ways of meditation, because we have so many different people with so many different nature. You need to find out the meditation as per your nature. Okay. So what I am telling you as a meditation practice which I follow is as per my nature, not necessarily it will be as per your nature. Then that is the main difficulty. Okay. What you can do, I will tell that way later, but what you can do is to find out some meditation camp happening in your city. Okay. That is the first thing you should do. Find out when the next meditation camp is happening in your city, wherever you are living. Go there. It may be a 15 days or 20 days camp. Okay. Every day they will teach you 2-3 ways of meditating. Nothing is going to happen in those 15 days. Just don't think about result. Nothing is going to happen in those 15 days. But what will happen, that by the end of 15 days you are aware of at least 40-45 different ways of meditation. Now you need to maintain a record that okay, first day I went there, I learnt about this 1-2-3 ways of meditation, and these are the events which happened on that day. This is how I behaved in that particular day. Then again, second day, I learnt about these 2-3 meditations, and this is the way my day went that day. Okay, this is the and these are the events. I was angry, I was not angry, I was cheerful. Write down all these things. What will happen by the end of 15 days? You have experience of all the 15 days written at one place. Just read those experience, just reflect back when you felt the happiest, most peaceful. That meditation is for you. That meditation is as per your nature. That whatever meditation you did on that particular day is as per your nature. Now start following that now start following that particular meditation. That is the one for you. Okay, so you need to do all these things to find out the find out the meditation which is for you. Just like you cannot follow every person as guru. Okay, understand, you cannot follow every teacher as your guru, every spiritual person as your guru. You need to find the person with whom you can connect. Likewise, you need to find the meditation with which you can connect. Some people may like dynamic meditation, which is very physically active meditation. People are jumping, people are crying, shouting, hitting at each other at sometimes. Okay, so that is dynamic meditation. Mars prominent people will like that meditation. Person like me, that now I tell you what I do as a meditation. It is a death meditation. Okay, it is 30 minutes process. First 10 minutes you need to just lay down. Okay, lay down just like a dead body. Okay, means as if your body has no energy whatsoever. Okay, now what will happen if you just lay down as a dead body with no activity? All your energy will accumulate at one place. What will be that place? The most active chakra in your body. Wherever your whichever chakra in your body is most active, the energy will accumulate it there. If your heart chakra is most active, the energy will accumulate there. If someone has agya chakra most active, energy will accumulate there. Okay, and you can feel the stress at that particular point while laying down. Second step is just calm down your breathing. When I say calm down, means don't assist your lungs in breathing. Let the body breathe as it likes to. Don't help in breathing. Don't come into the way of breathing. Whatever body wants to take as oxygen, let it take. Don't assist. Okay, and body will take as per its need. Okay, this is the second 10 minutes. First 10 minutes is just laying down like a dead body and leaving all the energy will accumulate at one place, whichever is the most active chakra. The second stage is this thing where you are leaving your breathing also. You are not assisting in breathing. Let the body take breathing on its own. And then the third stage is focusing on that chakra where you have all the energy, and repeat one thing, that I want to see the death, I want to see the death, I want to see the death. Okay, I want to face the death. That's why it is called death meditation. But this is what I have started after like 4-5 years of meditation. So I won't recommend people to do it all of a sudden. Okay, this is what I mean, that this is for me. Okay, at this with whatever experience I have reached here, this is for me. Okay, if you are at same level, you can do it. If you have same in nature, you can do it. But if you are not having the same nature, if you are not at same level, same evolution level, you may be at the higher evolution level. You need to find meditation as per your level. That's where like the first effort you need to take to find the meditation which is as per your nature. One thing you can do is buy a book named The Book of Secrets of Osho, in which he has discussed 112 meditations. The Book of Secrets. 112 meditation ways are discussed in that book. Read that book. I am sure it is available in PDF format also in Google, so you can download directly if it is there. Otherwise, buy it and read it. You will get the lot of information on different ways of meditation. Then think whichever way is as per your nature, then follow that meditation. Okay. See, why I mentioned this thing, the simplest way of meditation is again mind is playing its game. Simplest way of meditation. Mind is telling you that okay, just tell me the simplest way. I don't want to like put much hard work. This is way, and this is where I feel that mind is cunning. Human mind is cunning. It is very important to see mind as a third party. Is there any benefit as ninth lord in 12th house aspected by 10th lord? Is there any benefit as ninth lord in 12th house aspected by 10th lord? What is the problem with this position? Okay. Anyways, like it depends on the planet, its nature, its dignity. Ninth lord in 12th house, if it is in good dignity, then it is going to give results. Overall, as I always say, even the debilitated planet can give you some good results. They may not be able to give you all the good results, but they may be able to give you some good results. So that is always the case with every planet. Every planet can give you some positive and some negative results. Okay. It shows that like a person can have some connection with foreign lands related with his career, or some connection with knowledge oriented career, knowledge sharing career. My Rahu with Saturn with and Moon in ninth house. What illusion does Rahu bring me? Cancer ascendant. Illusion about maybe the right gurus, right teachers, and all. That is what you can have right knowledge. It can also give you very unconventional belief system. Okay, not following any organized religion, that kind of thing. Rahu in a ninth house, what illusion it brings with Saturn and Moon in Cancer, right? As I said, it may have let you grow your belief system with delay, hard work, and perseverance. Like you may have struggled to find right teachers in your life, right gurus in your life, right spiritual belief in your life. Okay. Then Guru Chandal Yoga in 12th house Libra. That is fantastic yoga. Again, unconventional belief system. Person is going to have not follow any organized religion. They can have a completely unconventional spiritual belief. They will be more a seeker rather than believer, but at the same time in money matters they can be spendthrift. There is a conjunction of Jupiter, Saturn, and Ketu. Jupiter, Saturn, and Ketu in a sixth house for Cancer ascendant. How to handle such energy during Mahadasha? Which Mahadasha? Anyways, Jupiter, Saturn, Ketu in sixth house Sagittarius. So first of all, this person needs to be very careful about health issues. Jupiter brings health issues related with fat, obesity mainly. Saturn brings health issues related with related with bones, teeth, chronic nature of diseases, and then that's where he should be careful. In relationship matters it can be difficult, because three planets are in the sixth house of dispute. This person needs to like uh, uh, very very much flexible or adjusting in relationship, then only his relationship can work over a long period of time. In other matters, Sagittarius is sign of higher education and knowledge. Ketu is research. Saturn can give the focus and hard work, and this person can be very hard working in knowledge oriented matters. He can gain a lot of knowledge, and then he can serve people through his knowledge. That's where the direction is given, with Jupiter, Saturn, Ketu in the sixth house. Again, one of the misconception is that sixth house represents our jobs. No, sixth house only represents our daily work life. It can be anything. It can be job also, but it is not that job is the only daily work life. Okay, understand that what I am trying to say. My daily work life is looking at charts. Someone who is a player, who is a cricketer, his daily work life is going into the ground and play his sport. Someone who is a musician, his daily work life is make new music every day. So sixth house only represents daily work life. When you have Saturn Ketu there, it can create lots of troubles with your colleagues in job setup. So don't think that it is a good placement for job setup kind of work. You may have lots of difficulties. That means, yeah, again you need to get into your business setup work. More power, patience, and courage to spread your unique perspective, your unique and fresh new ideas is elevating our consciousness, and it's breaking the conditioned societies. Thank you. You're welcome if I am of any help. Thank you for elaborating meditation with such details. You're welcome. Happy to share. Great suggestions, insights. So grateful. Thank you. Same here. Mm. Okay, any further question? I think are we done? So the important thing is that about meditation, first of all we should find out the meditation which is useful for us, which is as per our nature. Okay, we should not just follow whatever is meditation is being done by some XYZ person. As I said that I can be of at a different evolutionary level, you can be at a different evolutionary level, and this is what matters in the end. Okay, find the meditation as per your evolutionary level, as per your nature, and then you will be benefited by that. Okay. So I think we are done. No further questions. I will wait for 2 minutes and then we will close it. Okay. Okay, let's meet next week. Enjoy your weekend, whatever is left. Enjoy your Sunday. What do you say on current situation of India, its economy, and controlling and spreading of virus? I don't watch news. I don't read news. I don't have any update what is going on. in this in anywhere, means not only in India but anywhere. I don't know. Again, understand, this is also a way of distraction of mind, keeping the news track and all. Oh, what is happening in the country? Okay, what you can do anyways. Okay, understand this thing. What you can do, if anything is happening in country or in any country, let's say something is happening in UK, or something is happening in Europe, or something is happening in US. What you can do by sitting in India? Nothing. Okay. uh, let's be realistic. We don't even help our neighbors. Okay. The people whom we can help, we don't help, and we are concerned about what is happening in the world. So I don't even look, I don't even know. You are asking as per astrology. I don't even know what is going on. Okay. I don't know if economic condition in India is good, bad. What is the situation? Okay, it can be bad as per your perspective. It can be good as per your perspective. Okay, the perspectives can be different. Even for the virus, I don't keep any update. I don't. If you ask me today what is the total number of active cases, I may not be able to understand. I may not be able to reply, because I am not keeping any track of any news. Okay, I am living in my own world. Can you address the Bhavad Bhavam issue and what it means? How to read a chart from that lens? Bhavad Bhavam is when, like, a house is there. You want to see the results of a particular house, then you can see uh, that house result from exactly number of houses away from that house. Okay, like if you want to see when you are going to get property, fourth house. Fourth house is the house of properties, real estate, and all. Then seventh house is another house, because it is fourth from the fourth. Okay, seventh house is another house which you can consider. But as I understand, uh, fourth house remains the more important. Seventh house is the secondary house. Okay, if you see possibilities of property gain from fourth house, then you can confirm from the seventh house. You can see the same thing in the seventh house. But what I am trying to say, if you first of all you don't see property gain from fourth house, don't try to force your prediction from the seventh house, because fourth house remains the first priority house, primary house. Then the Bhavad Bhavam remains the secondary house. It is not that if I am not seeing the childbirth from the fifth house, I should see from the ninth house, because it is Bhavad Bhavam of fifth house. No, first fifth house should represent childbirth, then only I can confirm it with ninth house. Understand, Bhavad Bhavam is like the another house. The Bhavad Bhavam house is coming into existence only because of the earlier house, primary house. We can calculate fourth from the fourth only when we have fourth, right? When we have primary house, the fourth house, then only we can calculate for fourth from the fourth. If we don't even have that primary house, how we can even come to the concept of Bhavad Bhavam? So what I feel is that the first house, the primary house, is important, and then we should look for the Bhavad Bhavam house. So if you are looking for property related matters, first it should be seen from fourth house. Then you can confirm the same thing from the seventh house. Likewise, for childbirth, fifth house is the main house. Then come to the ninth house. Ninth house as another house, the secondary house. Okay, you can confirm the same thing, but don't just jump into the ninth house. Okay. Uh, Please tell us about Venus Mars in 12th house for Pisces Lagna. It is in Aquarius sign. Again, Venus Mars conjunction can be very good and very difficult. Okay. Uh, it is very important for Venus and Mars to be in, both should be in good dignity. That is important. Okay, like let's take this example. If Mars Venus are together in Aries sign, or in Taurus sign, or in Leo sign, no, in Leo Venus is losing dignity. Then Mars Venus in Libra, then Sagittarius, okay, then Pisces, okay. uh, so what I am trying to say, both the planets should be in good dignity wherever they are getting conjunct. Otherwise, it can be like leading to dominance or control in relationship. If they both are in good dignity, then it leads to like very passionate love story or something like that. The person, both partners can be very passionate about each other. But if even one of the planet is losing dignity, then like it is troublesome. Then there can be aggression, anger, dominance, control involved in that relationship. For other matters, like person can be spendthrift when Mars Venus are in Aquarius in 12th house. Person can spend a lot. Someone asked a question that 6th house lord should be weak, but you made a counter argument. So what if 6th house lord is exalted? I have 6th house lord exalted. My Mars is exalted. It shows that person is winning over his enemies. It may take time. It may person may find out ways to win over his enemies or obstacles, but eventually he will win over his enemies obstacles. It also shows person is recovering very early from his illness and may have robust health. Okay, so this is the thing. Thank you, you're welcome. Okay, any further question in case before we close for the day? Okay, enjoy your Sunday. Take care. All the best.